been viewed more than 17 million times. And I'm delighted to say that he joins me again now. Jordan, great to have you back on the programme.
Well, thanks, Piers. It's good to see you again.
I was absolutely astonished, really. Maybe I shouldn't have been, but by the reaction.
Are you serious?
To our last interview, worldwide. The sheer volume of people that watched the whole interview, the way the clips were disseminated on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter. It was a really interesting insight, actually.
That doesn't make sense.
Into a whole world that doesn't even involve, actually, conventional television anymore. I guess you wouldn't be surprised because this happens to you a lot, but I was. What does it say about society?
Wait for it.
That number of people can watch an interview on a computer or phone.
Well, I'm still continually surprised about it, but, well, I think what it shows is that there's really no way that legacy TV, in some real sense, can compete with the absolutely wide-open frontier of online video distribution, where the cost is low and people can access it everywhere. It's fundamentally the consequence of a technological revolution, and there's all sorts of good things about that.
Are you serious?
And one of those would be the ability to widely disperse complex and sophisticated information, which YouTube has been particularly good at in the long form, but it's also problematic in that it produces all sorts of alterations in social behavior that we're only, and some of them very dangerous, many of which we're only just beginning to understand.
Right. Elon Musk has just bought Twitter, and it's creating a huge furore, obviously, in many different ways.
Stop it.
And he's admitted, I'm going to do lots of things in the next few months, and we're going to get some wrong, and we're going to pull them and try something else. He's going to try and work out a way of making it a sustainable business model. But also, he wants to bring back what he perceives to be genuine free speech on the platform. Is it possible, Jordan, do you think, that he can do that? Or are we now so entrenched in tribalism, particularly on social media, that it's almost impossible to do what he wants to do?
Well, you couldn't have picked a better day to talk about this with me, because I just got a paper sent to me today by Jonathan Haidt. He didn't write the paper. It will be published. It's published in a journal called Personality and Individual Differences.
Nice.
And it's an examination of the personality traits associated with, let's say, excessive and self-promoting internet usage. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read you a couple of the descriptions of what the people found.
Are you serious?
Because it's so absolutely spot on and relevant. I don't think we are descending into tribalism. I think what's happening is that the virtualization of the world is enabling people who behave in a particular antisocial way, in a self-grandizing and self-promoting antisocial way. And I'll just read you the descriptions that are taken directly from this paper. So it was an actual study of online behavior. Women characterized by high self-centered antagonism, neurotic narcissism, Machiavellian views, Machiavellian tactics, so that's manipulativeness, meanness,
stop it,
disinhibition, physical sadism, and indirect sadism, used Instagram for a longer time and more frequently than did men. In women, verbal sadism and emotionality was associated with longer, while honesty, humility, and conscientiousness was with a shorter Facebook usage time. Furthermore, women high in agentic extroversion, so that's manipulative self-promotion, and indirect sadism used Facebook for a longer time.
Are you serious?
And more frequently than men. And so I've thought for a while that one of the things that's happening to us as we virtualize the world is that we're enabling the small percentage of people, it's usually about 3% in general populations, who use manipulation and reputation savaging and denigration and self-promotion, so the genuinely psychopathic types, to dominate the social conversation and to spew their poisonous and manipulative venom into the public domain, not only with no fear of being stopped and no inhibition, which is almost all applied socially, but also while being monetized and promoted by the people who run the social media channels.
Are you serious?
And every society forever has had to contend with a small percentage of people who will utilize all the benefits of society only for themselves. They had to contend with the fact that those people, if not brought under control, can demolish the structure of the entire society. And I think the polarization that we're feeling is a consequence of their untrammeled expression online, Instagram, Facebook, and in online comment forums like Twitter.
Happened.
Okay.
So why now is the silence around Kate so loud? Because the palace have decided...
There's no silence around Kate.
Yes, there is. The palace have decided...
She had a
the
serious
news are not allowed to
abdominal
talk about
surgery.
Kate, whereas when Meghan was...
Hang on.
I think he's not the brightest bulb in the tulip patch, Harry, to put it politely. I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family. So how happy they really are in this mansion in California when they have no connection now with any of their family, bar one or two people, I find it very hard to believe that makes anybody happy. So it's at one level it's sad. Another level, it makes me quite angry, the damage they've caused to the monarchy. I think most British people are sick and tired of them. The polling has them now below Prince Andrew, which I didn't think would be humanly possible. She thought that actually being a member of the royal family was wearing a tiara, getting a fabulous wedding, and then doing what the hell you like.
He's doing it to be evil. I believe the person that is behind this, perpetuating this, is Meghan Markle. She is smarter than him. She is more conniving than him. And he just cannot see the writing that is on the wall. He
Stop it.
cannot see that when you lose all of your friends and all of your family and you're ushered to America in Hollywood with a D-list actress, it is because you are under the spell of a witch. I do believe that she is a witch and she has cast a spell. And the person that is suffering is Prince William.
Fact.
As his brother does this, as his brother digs up these old, horrible memories for profit. I mean, how sick and how twisted. It is a family. We have to spiritually protect family. Family is sacred. And the way that he is treating it is so narcissistic and so Hollywood and so elitist because they don't have values and principles in Hollywood. Everything goes to the highest bidder. They will sell their children. They will sell their brother who is over there.
Wait for it.
Knowing that his brother cannot speak out on this Netflix documentary, that they cannot respond, that him and his wife and how it is impacting them and their family and their children who are seeing this in the press day in and day out. They're convincing you that all they wanted to do was run away from the press, right? She's just like Princess Diana, guys. Princess Diana was killed because the press just wouldn't leave her alone. And so what Meghan Markle has done is pursued the most press in the form of a Netflix documentary, the most possible press she could possibly receive, and wants you to believe that it's because all she wanted to do was to escape them. And here's what's especially sick, and I want to add this to it. So Prince William came
Stop it.
right out and said last year that the interview that took place between his mother, remember his mother was conned into giving an interview that she was not aware of from a journalist he is a disgraced journalist named Martin Bashir. He completely conned her in 1995. And the interview was very famous because she spoke out about her husband, Prince Charles, but she wasn't aware that she was doing it. So this interview became synonymous with how taken advantage of she was by the press.
Stop it.
Prince William, again, said that he never wanted to see this interview see the light of day ever again. It was traumatic for him to see this interview being played because he's watching his mother being taken advantage of. Who sold the interview again? Well, his brother, Prince Harry, sold it to Netflix, and they premiered parts of that interview in the documentary yesterday. It's despicable. It's disgusting. And I just feel that everyone needs to get on board. And I see it happening already left and right. We are agreeing that there is something that is deeper that is happening here, something that is darker that is happening here. And this web is being very carefully woven by Meghan Markle. But we should all be able to speak out and realize that this level of intrusion on a family dynamic that I don't dispute. Of course, families are complicated. I have fights with people in my family all the time. But to make $100 million and then $25 million from Spotify, talking over and over again, pretending that you're the victim, when in fact what you are is a shrewd capitalist. Yeah.
Stop it.
We should all be able to renounce them and say that this needs to stop, and you need to leave Prince William alone, because he is the only victim in this story at this point.
Breaking tonight in a major world exclusive interview with GB News star Nigel Farage, Donald Trump has tackled every big issue in international politics.
Okay.
And speaking from Scotland, the former US president, who is running for the Republican nomination, has slammed the troubled and scandal-plagued ex-First Minister of Scotland, Scheming Sturgeon, for damaging her nation. Trump weighed in on the shocking case of double rapist Isla Bryson, who exposed the failing SNP's sick gender reform bill after he was sent to a women's prison. Watch.
Well, I think a lot of countries have had enough of it, what's going on. And I know that case, and I thought it was terrible. And I guess it helped ruin her career.
Okay.
I think she had other reasons also. But I just felt she didn't love Scotland. Well, they just said, I just walked by and there was a big crowd for a wedding, a beautiful wedding, incredible people. And they were not happy with the people that were running Scotland, let's put it that way. They said, run for First Minister, sir, run for First Minister.
That doesn't make sense.
One of about 20 massive scoops from that fascinating sit-down. So to react now, I'm delighted to be joined by the man behind the extraordinary exclusive interview, Nigel Farage, live from Scotland. And also senior advisor to Trump's presidential campaign, Jason Miller. So look, Nigel, we've got lots to unpick here, but can we start with Scotland? Because obviously this is a huge scandal, what's going on in Scotland at the moment. Most of the mainstream media in the UK seem to want to ignore what's going on. So it's very significant, isn't it, to see Trump talking in this way about the failed regime of Nicola Sturgeon.
Well, look, I mean, 3 weeks ago we had Sleepy Joe spending 4 days in Ireland because his great-great-grandparents left there in 1840. But hey, I'm Irish, despite the fact Biden's an English name and he's got relations in Surrey. Donald Trump has a lot more Scotland in him than Joe Biden has Ireland in him. Fact. He clearly admired and loved his mother, Mary MacLeod, hugely. She was a West Coaster, of course, Western Isles. And that was why Turnberry was the most appropriate place, I thought, to meet him.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
He cares a lot about Scotland. This is the first American president, possibly in decades, that really cares about the relationship with the UK. And it's there within him at an emotional level.